Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream. And one of the easiest projects you could probably do for your generator, and it's very important, believe it or not.
Have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So if we come up to the road here, you're going to see I got something in the mail. And the little package is because of the little generators. You can see I already got a blue one here. That's going to be for our son. That's his generator. And I got a yellow one because our Champion, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, the Champion has a yellow one. And even though I wanted a red one for this, they didn't have any. So that one got a yellow one. So now we're just keeping the theme. And hopefully this is a yellow one they sent me. So let me show you how to install it on these little generators. And you can see I've already put them on the others. It's just a good idea to have so you can kind of judge how long the generators run. And you know, you don't have to worry if you decide to sell your generator at some point trying to convince somebody you barely used it. You know, the hour meter is kind of proof to some extent. Although you could install an hour meter, you know, halfway through the life of the generator and say that's all the hours it has on it. Most people believe that you probably installed it whenever it was new. Both these generators maybe have 45 minutes runtime on them at tops. So let's go ahead and get this going. I'll show you what it takes to put them on. This generator is not necessarily going to be the generator that you have, but as far as installing these hour meters, they're so simple. You can basically follow the same steps and it's going to get you the same result. So there's two things you're going to do. You need to first locate your spark plug, and on this Sportsman it's underneath this cover here. So go ahead and pull this off real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and take off this side panel because of access. Again, it's really tight quarters on these little ones. The bigger generators, they're easy to do. So if you have a bigger one, like that Champion I just showed, or something else, you know, big Honda 3000, you're going to be able to see this stuff a lot easier. Now that that cover's off, we're going to see the meat and potatoes of what you need to access, and that's this spark plug wire. The idea is the wire that comes in the kit wraps around the spark plug wire so many times, and then it goes to the meter, which the wire can go through the smallest hole, you know, the hole that's the diameter of the wire itself, and then attach to the meter. So you want to find, of course, the spark plug. That's the first thing you need to locate, and then where you want to mount the meter at. Now obviously this would probably be best, but I got to make sure that this gas tank, you know, doesn't go into that area. You can't drill into your gas tank, obviously. And even if you could put it there, it might be an issue with the wire and the routing to where you don't want it to touch the frame of the engine. And the reason is because this meter has a very sensitive pulse detection. And every time that spark plug fires, that signal goes through this wire through induction and into this meter through induction. There is not a positive contact. You're not stripping the wire. You're not doing any of that. It's just the pulse that that wire sees. And if it touches the engine, then what happens is that pulse gets negated because it basically gets grounded back to the engine. So you don't have a good signal at that point. So you definitely want to keep it away from any engine grounds, and we're going to try to find if this tank actually has a protrusion here that will cause it to where if I mount this meter with these two little tiny screws, if it's going to go into the tank. Now it's easy for me just to pull off this front panel because there's only 4 screws that hold the electronics on. Be real careful with all these connections because these are the brains of the whole operation. Well, this and that control module that's in there. But I'm glad that I looked at this, and this is something, again, you got to check for yourself. The gas tank is right there. It would have been right where I would have drilled right into the tank. So what I did was drill a couple holes, and then I went ahead and knocked down the screws. I cut them short, so whenever they go through the meter, they don't protrude into the tank. The other thing is that's real nice is once you find a place that you want to run your wire through, like I have here, the screws, the same screws that you use to mount it, you can use to drill the hole, and the wire will fit perfectly. Just run the screw in, let it spin for just a couple of seconds to clear out all the plastic, you know, that it's moved out of the way to make its hole. And at that point, you can run the wire through just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and place this wire in the meter and show you what that looks like, and then we'll get this thing all mounted up. So whenever you're putting the wire in the meter, it's nothing more than it going in, and I'm going to do it in this direction since the wire's entering from this direction, and you just want to put it in this slot that's provided in the back and then push it down in there. You might have to take a small screwdriver and help it along a little bit but usually I can get it in here with just my my fingernails if I had any today. And we'll go ahead and pull that down in, and again, this is for the induction, for the reading of the induction whenever the pulse is applied. So real easy to do, and you can see it's pretty much in there. I'm going to go ahead and make it flush down inside there and then mount it up using those two screws, and then we'll route the wire, cut it, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so now that you see that the meter is mounted, everything looks pretty good here. I got the wire routed in, and it's coming alongside of the gas tank. Of course, the wire can run alongside the gas tank. It's not going to hurt anything. At this point, we just need to get the right amount of wire and wrap it around. Now, in this case, I would wrap it roughly about 7 times around this lead, this spark plug lead. So let's go ahead and take the spark plug lead out so we can work with it. And we're going to wrap this around about 7 times and then secure with the wire ties that are provided the wire so that it stays in place. Again, this is all that it takes to have this signal work, and you know, it's a pretty amazing little piece of equipment considering how little it costs for this meter and what it does. Now that we've got that wrapped around, I'm going to put a wire tie here and I'm going to snug it all up. Again, the screws and these wire ties, these zips ties, they're included in the kit. It's all part of the price of emission. Of course, the links will be down below for this. Just pick your color and have it shipped to you. Gets here in just a few days. So you want to keep these leads as tight as possible against the wire for obvious reasons. You want a good reading going into the wire. I think I'm going to go ahead and put another one on here because I don't like how loose that feels. There, that is definitely tight, so we're going to go ahead and just cut off the excess here just to get them out of the way. No sense in having them there. And now you just got to make sure that, you know, the wire that you put on there, there's plenty of room for it to reach the engine, which there is. And we can cut off this excess. You can see here, there's no reason for this. And that's it. We'll go ahead and put the spark plug boot back on. Be careful, some of these are sharp because they are metal. But you definitely want to make sure it gets seated all the way on there. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So let's go ahead and put on the cover. We'll start this thing up and watch the meter run. So now that it's running, you should be able to see that little hourglass flashing. Let me see if I can get you the light a little better. There's a little hourglass that flashes. That's to tell you it's counting the time, letting you count the hours of the generator. So usually what I do is let this run until it says 0.1. All right, so there you can see, or maybe you can't see, 0.1. So that means it's working. So like I said, one of the easiest upgrades, modifications you can make to any generator. So I'll put the link down below for the hour meter. Of course, I'll put the link down below for this generator, along with a bunch of other links. And if you haven't had a chance yet to check out my generator playlist, and go through and see everything that I've been screwing around with for about the last 3 years. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this helped you out. To help this channel and keep me doing videos like this, use the links down below. And as always, I hope to see you guys out there. Bye.